Youth Villages started in 1986 in Memphis, Tennessee as a small residential treatment provider, but we pretty quickly learned that the work really needed to be done in the community. We started when Pat Lawler, our CEO, who's still our CEO, was approached by a juvenile court judge and asked to run a campus that was working with boys there in Memphis, Tennessee. Across Tennessee, we serve over 6,000 youth on any given day, and here in Middle Tennessee, we serve over 2,000 kids on any given day. And that doesn't even include the calls into our crisis hotline, which for the state is around 19,000 calls a year. Most of the families that we work with have maybe tried lesser intensive, more traditional mental health services and are at a place where they really need something more intensive. So our Intercept program, for example, is our intensive in-home services where we're going into the family's home 3 times a week and meeting with the entire family unit, but also supporting them in school, supporting them within their community. They've needed a little bit more help than the traditional services and supports could provide. An example of that would be our Thrive program, which works with youth justice involved youth. We're able to go into that family's home 1 time a week and really work to divert that young person from getting further along the path in the youth justice system. From there, we also provide foster care services for youth that are not able to be safe at home. So that doesn't just include us certifying a foster family to provide care for them. It also includes clinical services that our staff provide within that family's home. Our LifeSet program works to support young adults that are moving from the foster care system to young adulthood and really setting them up for success. That works alongside our Bright Futures program that's in partnership with the Department of Children's Services and allows for extension of foster care services for the transition age youth population. Another option is adoption. So we provide adoption services here at Youth Villages. So kids that are in our foster care program that aren't able to return either to their parents or a family member, we facilitate adoption where appropriate within their foster home. Part of how we identify family for them to go home is through our Wendy's Wonderful Kids program, which is child-focused specific recruitment, where we're recruiting for foster families that are open to adoption for a specific child or identifying kinship options for them to return back home to family. When kids are struggling, they need someone to call. And our mobile crisis services cover 75% of the 95 counties in Tennessee. And when a child is experiencing suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation, psychosis, or just a significant mental health crisis, they're able to call into our hotline and speak directly with a counselor who then determines if they need to dispatch someone for a face-to-face assessment and make recommendations for treatment that may include hospitalization, but many times includes a referral to a community-based service.
Mentoring is a huge thing. I've been a mentor for 5 youth, and I will tell you that there is nothing more critical than giving back to one of our kids your time. It means everything, and as much as you think you're doing for them, you're getting way much more out of it. The second young man that I mentored was successfully transferring out into the world, and we were talking. And I said, hey, what did you get out of all of this? And he totally blew me away. And he said, you made me a better person. And I'll never forget it. It was a shot in the heart in the best way possible. It's just so genuine. They're all great kids. That's the thing. Most of them have not had fathers or of any positive male role model at all. They need us. And I would love to see more of it.
One thing I want to highlight is just the need for support of foster care and the recruitment of foster parents. And a big initiative of ours is to really try to communicate that to as many community members as possible. It's not always the answer for an individual or their family to become foster parents, but they can talk about foster care and the need for foster care. Our mission, helping children and families live successfully, drives every decision that we make. First and foremost, that's rooted in our belief that children are raised best by their families. So the work that we do now in 29 states is really focused on going into the family home and working with every single system that impacts that young person. So that's the individual, the family, the school, peers, but also their overall community.